Mohamed Salah has not had another good game, another week where perhaps people are starting to talk a little bit more about him. What have you made of those two in particular?
Well, I think it's got to the point now where Slot has to make a massive decision. He has to either drop his most expensive player or drop his biggest star, or even both, because they're not doing it. And, he's sat 1 goal in 7 so far. Salah's got a slightly better rate, but his performances in recent weeks have kind of dropped off a cliff. We all talk about who they've brought in, and we know they've brought in some great players, but they've lost some great players as well. I think 7 first-team players in, 7 first-team players out. And the big one for me was Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and obviously the tragedy with Diogo Jota. But you've lost Darwin Núñez's work rate. You've lost Luis Diaz's work rate and tenacity. You've lost, obviously, Jota's the same. Jota would press harder than anybody in the final third. And with those gone, you've suddenly got Mo Salah, who doesn't press, who doesn't do any kind of defensive work. You've got Alexander Isak, who's pretty much the same. When you take away the work rate that Liverpool have had and replace it with great players such as Isak and Wirtz, who don't particularly put the work in, then all of a sudden it puts so much pressure on the rest of your team that if your forwards aren't working as hard as they were last season, then you're going to see a drop-off, and that the midfield are going to be overrun. The defence obviously has to do much more defending, and we saw against United that Van Dijk and Konate were shaky. But I do think it stems to the fact that they've lost a lot of work rate in the 4 positions, and it's been really highlighted now when you look at Salah.